Welcome back, my curious souls. Today, we got to talk about thought forms. We don't really have an option at this point. If you've watched some of my previous videos, I have one called servitors and one called poltergeist, and these are just a couple of branches under the big old tree known as thought forms. As we have noticed more thought forms than we expected to see in investigation, I thought it was really important to communicate with you and educate you on what these are. So, what is a thought form? It's rooted in Tibetan Buddhism and Theosophy, and these are human created entities. Yes, completely created by humans, and they're created by intense concentration. So, the idea is that monks would actually meditate intensely enough to make these helpful entities or thought forms. Now, a good source to look at this is Tracking the Tulpa, and usually anything from the Psychic Institute or spiritualist movement churches will give you some information on this type of thing. These can be made consciously, on purpose, or unconsciously, not knowing that you're even creating them. And with the internet, there are a lot of haphazard ways on how to create these. I highly will always recommend that you do your research if you delve into something like this. I never want you to be afraid, but it's really important to do your homework. So we are human, and what that means is that we get the full human experience. That can be intense emotions, it can be unresolved trauma, shocking experiences, and this human vessel, it can only hold so much. And when that becomes so intense, it can actually come outside of our body and create an entity, and that is how you get a thought form. Now, this can actually start creating like a paranormal experience. You might see things moving around. You may see different things that you've never experienced in your home or wherever before. How have we seen this in cases? It could be the child who cannot communicate their emotions, so things start flying around the house. It could be that person deep within depression who sees a cloaked figure and they've never had any kind of haunting before, and it's actually their depression. Or it could be a collective group who comes together to believe in something, and that energy alone creates that entity, such as Slenderman. I don't want you to be afraid, because these can be resolved and prevention is key. As we are human and we are going to have the human experience, how do we do that? Self-care. That can be setting personal boundaries as you learn what those are, and those can develop or over time as you decide what they are. Once we do that in the material world, that also helps us in the spiritual world. In addition to that, it could be taking care of mental health services, such as working with a licensed psychologist and psychiatrist, and the reduction and management of stress. So, take care of yourself and prevent a thought form.